everybody, welcome back to Space Pickle Designs. I'm so glad to be back. Oh my goodness, it's been so long, but I definitely have a good video for you coming up. I have a lot of finished objects, some hauls, all the great things. So if you'd like to see that, then just keep on watching. Whew, okay, so I know there's a lot going on down here, okay, I understand. But I wanted to show you all the stuff that I made. Hold on, here's another sneak peek, another necklace back here of what I made from the Softflix rainy day kit, okay? And I wanted to do this one first because I meant to get this video up for the longest time, but my life has been absolutely insane recently, okay? So what I'll start with is the things that I had left over. So I still have a whole bag of beads here, as you can see. I'll zoom you in a little bit. So I have this whole mess of beads here. I have a whole mess of findings. I have a full strand of these rondelles, and I have almost a full strand of these check glass beads here. So I'm going to set those off to the side. The first thing I came up with was, I was really in a bracelet mood this month, and you'll see how true that is, but I had a whole bag of crystals in that kit, and so I really wanted to use a bunch of the crystals. So I took a button. This is like a little resin button from my stash. It's a little shank button. It's a vintage one. As you can see, there's a little bit of corrosion, but I just made this little metallic knotted leather bracelet, and then I put some charms on it, and I thought it turned out so cute. It's definitely a rainy day theme with those colors, but I thought it turned out really, really nice. Next bracelet I made was a half and half. So again, I used I used a vintage button here, as you can tell, and I used some leather, but I also did a beaded section here using wire that I did myself. And then I did some head pins with some other check glass beads. And then I just did a simple little stringing here on this other side. I fell in love with these little purple spacers. The metallic purple on there was so cute. And so I just thought that like the two-sided bracelet was pretty cute. My next bracelet that I made was like a little over the top, not gonna lie to you, but it's a 3-strand using, again, crystals. And I think I pulled these clear ones from my stash, so I cheated a little bit, only a little bit though. And then I added these, and the way that this is worn, let me go ahead and try to put it on. I'm gonna pause the camera. Okay, you guys ready for this? Look, it's like little raindrops, so they all point downwards. So I wire wrapped all of these little drops so that you have like little raindrops falling on your hand when you're wearing it. I just thought that was so cute. I was like, the whole theme is just, you know, rain. So, you know, usually your hand is pointed downwards like when you're walking, right? So you have like little teeny raindrops on your bracelet. And it's a 3-strand bracelet. Again, I used a bunch of those crystals. Those crystals went on forever and ever and ever, but I think I used most of them. And then I added that little cloud charm right there. I just thought that was so cute. And I put a big old lobster so that it was easier getting on. But I used Softflix wire for all the strands here. But I just love that little addition of that movement with the little raindrops. Okay, so for the first pair of earrings, I did like a little asymmetric cloud earring with the drops as well. So that could be definitely worn with this bracelet, even though the dark blue is not really in there, but I think it would still work, especially because those little drops are in there. And I love just how sparkly those were. So I did make a mirrored, I just like a mirrored earring when I can do that. So next one are these light blue drops with a little crystal rondelle here. And they're just a simple little earring. The next one is using one of those beautiful little check glass here, and I pulled some little terracotta spacers from my stash. I used a little crystal at the top. Those are just nice and simple. I really, really loved these. I did a mixed metal component here using silver and gunmetal. And I pulled some bead caps from my stash, just using a little 3-stack here. It kind of reminds me of like peas in a pod, but purple. All right, and then I used those cute focal crystals using really giant jump rings I made myself. And then to make it extra secure, I just used the lever back earrings for those. All right, the next thing I'll show is this little, I just had to make something with the, if you'll remember from the unboxing, they had this like plastic like tie, and it looked like little raindrops. And so what I did was paired that with some leather, and I just made a really simple necklace. And I'll zoom out a little bit here. And when you're wearing it with the weight of the pendant, it all falls together very nicely, but it does look like raindrops. And then at the end, I did make a pendant using some gunmetal and some of the rest of the crystals here in that mix. And it is removable, so there's many options with this necklace, but I just couldn't throw that away because I just thought it was so cute. And then the last thing I made from the box was this simple little necklace. And again, I think this was actually from the tea box the month prior, but I just didn't want to use it with that. I don't know. I just wanted to save it. And this month I felt inspired, and I believe it just looks so good with these blues. And again, I added in some of those terracotta spacers. So this earring set back here definitely matches. And so I made that as a set, and I pulled in this like really weathered looking leather with some silver findings. And so this is the necklace that we got. And so when it's hanging, it looks like a perfect little circle there. It's just because, you know, this is not on a bust or anything right now, but I really think that actually did the necklace or the pendant justice. I think a really simple design that just accentuates the message that's on this little spoon really did a number for that. So that's the last thing that I created with the Soft Flex Rainy Day bead kit. Next up, I'm going to show you Sam's bead box here. So Sam had the rainbow, I don't know if it was, I think it was called Rainbow Wishes. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But I think it was their anniversary. Nope. I don't know. It was the rainbow box that they had, and I really loved the soft take on the rainbow. And so the first thing I did were these, for some reason, I chose a bead weaving project first. Don't know why. But I did take some seed beads from my own stash, and then the rest of the items here are from the box. And so yeah, it's just a little right angle weave component, as you can see on the back, using some of those fire polish beads. And I honestly could have left it like that, but you know me, having to go and ruin things with extra details. I just went ahead and used some of those Preciosa crystals that also came with the box. Now down below are some drops. I could have used 2 different colors. I believe it came with a multitude of colors, but I kind of wanted to keep them matching. So I just picked a peachy tone, that, you know, mauvey, peachy, pinky tone to go throughout. And so these are super sparkly, and I put them on a gunmetal ear wire. Next, I just have some moonstone and check glass earrings. I pulled a like metallic and white spacer from my own stash, and like a little spacer bead here for the bottom. And I thought those were pretty simple but pretty classic. And I did pick out some stones with flash. So I really like those. Next, I made these. This is like a classic silver silk component kind of shape, you know. I did use some pipe chain here with some wire going through it, and I used those bird beads. And so this is the back of the component. I just made like kind of like a little twist so that I could hang the bird down there, and I just wire wrapped the bird. And the tricky part is just getting them to match. So that will take a little bit of time, but overall it is not a difficult project. You don't need any bead caps or anything. I think they turned out pretty well. The finish on those birds are pretty cool. All right, so for the big mama, I'm gonna try to like lift you out a little bit here. Hopefully it doesn't make you sick, but I did make a set, and here is the necklace set. And so I will take it off the bust, but it is a layered necklace, and you see like this is a free floating sun on a piece of chain here, so it will swing back and forth. And then I did a color blocking on the right side and then the rainbow on the left. And then I used that acrylic little cloud right there. So let me take it off the bust. so this might give you a better view, kind of what we're working with. And I did add some more of those drops in the blue color down there. So when you're wearing it, this does, it does hang properly and it doesn't touch the bottom or anything. But I did use some silver silk, not silver silk, soft flex beading wire, and I used the labradorite and the check glass. And then I pulled some chain from my stash, I believe I did. It's been a little while since I did these things, but I'll zoom in a little bit for the detail. But I really thought this set was pretty cool, and a lot of people ended up doing something like this. I think it just screamed this type of situation. I think we just had to, because it's like the sunlight, the rain, and then the rainbow, right? Like you have to have it all. So I feel like that's kind of like why we all kind of synced up on that. But to match it, I did do a stretch bracelet, which I've been on a stretch bracelet kick because it's just like instant gratification. And so I did a little stretch bracelet here with rainbow colors. And again, pulling in some of those other colors from the necklace, again with the labradorite. And then I hid the knot in this bead back here, and it's gunmetal. And so this is what that looks like. We love a good stretch bracelet. And then the earrings that I made for him, again, lever back earrings. But I just pulled in, again, some of those fire polish with the check glass and the labradorite. So it's all very, very cohesive. I mean, it's matchy, 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 matchy. But, you know, you got to live your life the way you want to live it, right? All right, so that's what I had for that set. I'll move it off to the side. And then the rest of the stretch bracelets that I made, and I know, I went crazy, and you haven't even seen like the whole stack I have over here, but I made these stretch bracelets here, and I felt like these could be worn as a stack. And I just picked some roller beads that I got from Softflex and paired it with some spacers, and I just did a nice little rainbow of the check glass in the middle. So these can be worn like off center. I just think it's a really cute little stack. And then I made this stack. Again, I used some labradorite here, but I used some stardust spacer beads. And if you haven't seen those, it's kind of like a matte metallic bead there. And then this one, I used some of the check glass here with some spacers, and then I brought in a clump of moonstone, which does have a flash to it, if you can see. I was lucky and got a bunch of flash. And then I had some drux left over, and I just thought that this little stack went really, really nicely together. So here's a stack. Here's a stack. They can all be worn together. I make all my stretch bracelets in the same size, about 7 inches. All right, so before we get into the mega stretch stack here, I will show you 2 specialty items that I did make. And this was following a tutorial from Joee's Jewelry, I believe. I don't know. I'll link her in my description box, but she's the cutest, coolest person ever. And her jewelry is so fun and so different than mine that I do draw such inspiration from her. So I tried to follow it exact to the amount that I had the beads in my stash. So she did have a little birdie bead. She used a little cluster of beads here. And then she made the bird's nest. So a lot of people have bird's nest tutorials out there, but I really just liked hers because it wasn't perfect. Like she purposely made these like little bends in the wire, and so I really love that. And so I picked out some of my favorite check beads that I've been hoarding. Again, this green like rainbow heart check glass bead. I mean, this is like probably the best bead on earth. And then paired it with my faceted melons, which I never wanted to use ever, but I'm so glad that I did. And then obviously my little ladybug beads. I love those. And so I put a little magnetic clasp on there. I haven't had a problem with it falling off, but I may change that to a lobster in the future. All right, so I won an auction on eBay for these beautiful, beautiful lampwork beads here. And they were all, I mean, obviously you can see the color palette here, but they're like these bumblebee, beautiful black and white statement with a pop of color beads. And they were so beautiful that I didn't want to do anything to them. So I just did simple loops on some wire here. I spread out the yellow accordingly, and yeah, I kept it as a bracelet. And then I made these beautiful little earrings to go with it. So I didn't have enough for a necklace. I mean, I probably could have made that the front of a necklace, but I've been really into bracelets recently, so I went with the bracelet. It may change in the future, just depending, you know, if I really want to wear it as a necklace, but this is that beautiful, I'm loving this color palette. Just the beautiful stark black and white contrasty with that pop of golden yellow. All right, so here is the craziness, okay? Here's the craziness. I know. It all started with, I think, these, no, hold on. These two, okay? Because I made some stretch bracelets for my coworker's kids, because she has like 4 awesome kids, and so I was making them, and then I was like, I'm obsessed with these, and I was like, I know I'm too old for like little cute stretch bracelets, but I just want to wear them. So anyway, I went down this rabbit hole of watching people make stretch bracelets, and I'm like, they're so simple. But in my mind, you know, as a creator, I'm like, it has to be more complex. It has to be more complex. And it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, if you like it, then just do it. Like, it, you know? And so I made some of these. I used a really cool check glass bead that I love, that I was going to hoard. And then, obviously, I had this, like, I had bead soup, right? And so I saw this resin bead, and I think I got it in a Soft Flex Jesse James mix. And so when I saw this, I was like, I just need to use it. So I took this from my bead soup, and then I just put some crystals around it. Green's my favorite color, obviously. And then it started this obsession. This was made for me by one of my coworkers from my last base. And so when I wore this, I was like, I love this. I just love the feel of gemstones. It was actually the first bracelet that really got me into gemstones. She did make it a little small. I think she thought I was a little skinnier than what I was. I mean, thank you, queen. Love that. But, you know, I do have a bigger wrist. So I made this one to match. And again, it's just Moo Kite and Tiger Eye. But then I was like, let me just make as many as possible. So then I went on to look at my stash. I also shamefully got like a huge order from Beadbox Bargains. So you know how I don't really like the bargain bead box? That's what it's called. Sorry, it always flips in my head. I don't really like the bargain bead box that much. It is a deal. It for sure 100% is a really, really good deal. But for me, it just wasn't hitting. But when I went to their website, like, their website is bomb. So I actually resubscribed to the bargain bead box just so I could have the 30% off coupon. So you'll see some more bargain bead box in the future. But yeah, that's my life right now. So I did a huge order, and I'll show you what I got with that. But I went and did some stretch bracelets. So this is some made with some beads that I won from a Sam's bead live sale. And so I got some of these really cool check glass beads. So I made a stretchy bracelet with that. I made this one for my mom because she really likes shells and pearls. And so I used a mother of pearl shell pendant here, and then just use really high quality shell beads. I love this one. This one is actually made to match my stack here because I love these Tiger Eye spacer beads. They're my favorite, but they're very expensive. And I made this one again to go with my mom's little stack here. She loves little pearls. This is just using some really, really special beads here that I got from Sam's Bead Box. And again, I could stack that on, and I think it still looks pretty good. These are just some really cool vintage glass, like, spacer beads. These are some Drux with some really cool dyed shell rounds. And look at the color on those Drux. Like, are you kidding me? This one is an African opal with, again, those shell color, those like little dyed shells. These, let me see. I made these using a gemstone strand, like a chakra, I'm not sure how to say that, I am so sorry. A chakra strand from one of the Sam's bead boxes, and so I just made a cute little stacker, so one for me and one for my bestie, you know what I mean? So I'll try to find a bestie to give that to. But yeah, so I made them just the same because I thought that was really cute, just the way that they were strung. And then I have one with some turquoise chip beads, which are so pretty, with some of like a Picasso druck. This is tiger iron, and I actually used O beads as spacers. So you can use little seed beads as spacers, and that's what it looks like. So I thought that was really cool. I used a stainless steel bead here that has a really large hole because I like to use, like, this is a 1mm stretch cord. I want my stretch cord to be really, really sturdy. So this I made with 10mm just assorted gemstones, and most of them I got from Beadbox Bargains. And then these little guys right here are made with drucks. And so, yeah, it's like the same feel, but just like an 8mm bead. And yeah, these are like the same bracelet, but just different colors. And then again, we have a dyed blue tiger eye with African opal with brass spacers. Love that one. And then I use these just for, I've been loving that contrasty look. So these are like, I believe these are wooden beads here with a like a dark blackish brown, and then I put the shell beads, those really high quality shell beads in there. And then this one I had one leftover repeat of the chakra beads, and so I did that, and then I filled the rest with that nice contrasty color. This one is crackle agate that's been dyed, and then I put some really special check glass faceted rondelles, and so I love that colorway. Last thing I will show you before I hop off here, because I know this video is getting super long. I did go to New Mexico for work, but when I had some downtime, I did go to a bead store. So let me see, the first bead store that I went to, let's just pull that out. We got some chevron amethyst carved pumpkins. And they're on like this purple stretch cord. Like, you could wear this as a bracelet, but it's like too special to just waste it on a bracelet. So I just got it for the beads. And I love pumpkin. I love the carved gemstone in this shape in particular. And you'll see what I mean. Alright, and then we got this beautiful strand of faceted carnelian. And these are huge, super heavy, but the color is beautiful. I did end up getting some bone beads here. They were a very good price, but it does give a different vibe. I loved these hematite rondelles. I just had to have them when I saw them. I just thought they were so pretty, so sparkly, so heavy. Like, it just feels luxurious. I got 2 bags of bells. Just these little like antique copper bells here. I thought those were so cute. And then I got a bunch of this, I got a strand of pyrite here. So I thought those would be cool as spacers. So it's a pyrite strand. And then I got a bunch of this, what looks to be African brass. I think for sure this one is, but I'm not sure about these the copper ones. But again, I kind of wanted to use those in my stretch bracelets. As you can see here, I used African brass in the middle there. And I wanted to use like the super small ones so that it would kind of mimic that O bead. Because I think I only have one color of O bead. Alright, the last 2 things that I got from that shop is this luscious strand of crystal quartz. If you know me, you know I love chunky, smooth crystal quartz. And then this strand unfortunately did break, but I will be able to show you. It's another strand of crystal quartz here. But these are just beautiful, like slightly faceted. I mean, let's just look at this one. Are you seeing the rainbow in there? That's why crystal quartz is so freaking cool. So amazing. And I loved that shape. So I actually lied to you. There's one more item here, and it's just a selenite pair. So I can make some earrings with those. All right, so last thing are my super special finds. I'll start out with the least impressive first. Just this 2-strand of mixed gemstones here. And I really love the crystal and smoky quartz on there, but I did love just the color, like the color array in general. And I don't think I will split these up. I think I'll probably keep them. I might take the amethyst out, and I'll play around with it. But those are a pretty good price. The facets look really good on those. I love these. When I saw these, I had to get 2 because, you know, I'm not sure when I'll be able to go back. But these are squished melon, carved tiger eye, and I love tiger eye so much. I know it's so simple and basic, but I just love tiger eye. I just can't stop looking at it. I have my mixed gemstone beaded bracelet, the stretch one over there, and I look at tiger eye. That's my favorite one. And I know it's basic, and I know, but I love a good tiger eye. All right, when I saw these, it reminded me of a terrarium. So this is green garnet, and let me find a good one. If you look closely, there are clear spots. Like it's like like I said, like you're looking in a terrarium. And so just the depth in these beads, I just had to get them. Plus they're green. I mean, green is beautiful. But when I'm having, like when I get gemstones like this and I know I'm going to make them into a bracelet, I want to pick out the most interesting beads, because when it's on your wrist, you're going to be looking at it, right? And so just like green garnet is so beautiful. Okay, and so this, the very last piece, this, let me just clear this because we need to make room. We need to make room for the coolest thing I have in my collection. Are we seeing it? I'll give you a moment. I'll give you a second. Are we seeing this? Did I have to take out a small loan for this? Yes. Yes. But my birthday's coming up, so you only live once. And by that, I mean I spent way too much on this. But this is a denim lapis graduated carved melon strand. Like, look at her. Look at her. I just want to string this as is. It's so flippin' heavy, but like, what do I do with it? Like, you can't make that better than what it is. Like, it's already top. It's already peak. It's already peaked out. I'm speechless. Let's not talk about it. Because, I mean, that kind of looks good. I'm not gonna lie. But look at all the goodies. All this. All this. Like, I can't even fit it. This is what I've been up to. I've been working, and then I come home and make jewelry. I haven't been filming because I'm a terrible YouTuber. But I have been creating. So, I know this was an extremely long video. Thank you for hanging out with me. But let me know down below what your favorite piece out of this whole collection was. I'm telling you right now, it's, for me, obviously, right? Let's just, beautiful, my model here. Just let me know down below. I'm really glad to be back, and so I hope to get some more videos out for you soon. But thank you for hanging in there with me. I know I'm not very consistent, but I do love the beading community, and so thank you. I hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you guys in the next one.